Reddit by Reddit recap. What is the most memorable NSFW thing that happened in high school? A senior girl, also a well-known lacrosse player and all-around snarky bee, had a sexual rendezvous with a freshman football player from the same high school at the local park and ride one morning. By lunch, word had gotten around the whole school. When they walked into the cafeteria, the whole crowd erupted in applause and cheering. From that day forward, she was known as Park and Ride, and the guy faded into obscurity. Guy known for getting girls drunk and taking virginities got one of these girls supposedly knocked up. She made a Facebook post claiming to be pregnant. Meanwhile, rumors at school were blowing up. This guy was also making posts on Facebook saying he didn't get anyone pregnant, but honestly everyone knew this dude's reputation, and this definitely brought it to an all-time low. Girl a week later says she miscarried and how she's sad she will no longer be a mom. To this day all this dude posts about is being lonely and having no one, so I don't think he ever recovered. LMAO. Senior prank gone wrong. Every once in a while the school Olympic-sized pool needed to be chlorine-killed for cleanliness, and it was unusable for a few hours until the chlorine adequately dispersed. This is important. Senior prank time rolls around and a bunch of the seniors decide to buy pickup truckloads of dry ice to dump in the pool to mist up the school. Well, these geniuses accidentally timed it with chlorination schedule of the pool and blanketed the whole school with chlorine gas. It was shut down for a week, literally NSFW. Two of our married gym teachers got caught having sex in the weight room after school. One male and one female teacher. They weren't married to each other yet. Two employees were caught doing that in the company gym where I used to work. One was named Steele, until she divorced not long after, for some reason. And the joke going around was we should go to the gym and pump Steele. During psychology class, this girl had her phone between her skirt, and I guess every time she got a text or something, it would vibrate and she would kinda squirm. It was interesting to watch since I was across from her. I seen a year a girl accused a male teacher of trying to coerce her into giving him nude pictures. According to her story, he had held her behind class and told her if she didn't he was going to fail her and that she wouldn't graduate on time. The teacher was fired instantly, but it was never taken to criminal or civil court. The vast majority of my graduating class did not believe the girl because she was known for spreading false rumors. Her story gradually changed the more people asked her about it, and the teacher was actually well liked by the majority of the students. The social studies teacher's boobs fell out of her dress on stage in front of the whole school. After a really crazy party, this one rich kid that everyone hated was super drunk. Someone claimed that his dong looked funny, so he whipped the shit out and started showing it to everyone. He was yelling, "See, see, it's perfectly normal." Then a couple dudes grabbed him and threw him in the disabled shower. Then he threw all his clothes over the wall and demanded to be let out so he could prove it. So they blocked the door with a bookcase and left him there. The janitor let him out, hungover, naked, and freezing. That night, I thought it looked a little crooked, by the way. Senior year, biology IB2. The teacher is kinda chaotic and isn't very structured. Late a lot. It's his first class of the day, sorta lets us do our work at our pace. So he was late one morning and we were all just sitting and chatting waiting for him. We got on the topic of piercings and one girl said she recently got one of her nipples pierced. We were confused why she only did one, and then she showed us. In class, at her desk, she just lifted her shirt and bra to show us her single pierced nipple. It took me a second to realize what just happened. Then me and my buddy high-fived or something IDK. The only proper response to a girl saying I have a pierced nipple is I don't believe you. Hot classmate of mine jumped on my back the first day of theater practice, saying "You're mine now." Eventually led to her giving me head between scenes on multiple occasions. My math teacher told us if we all got A's and B's on our test, he'd dye his hair green and rollerblade down the hallway. We all passed, and sure enough, he showed up to school with green hair the following week. During class transitions he was out rollerblading down the hall, when he thought it would be funny to mess with a jokester student. So he grabbed him and tried to push him in the girls' bathroom as a joke, and another student trying to help ran up behind them and shut the door. The tip of my teacher's pinky finger was near the hinges, and it was sliced off. Blood was everywhere and the tip of his finger was just lying there in the floor. To make matters worse, they sent the severed finger to the wrong hospital, but he had good spirits when he came back, even naming the finger Quasimodo. In NL we have a fried snack called a fricandle. It's basically a floppy stick of meat, like maybe 15 cm, that you keep frozen until you deep fry it. One of the girls in my school, allegedly, used one of these frozen sticks to do her thing. Well, the thing is that fricandles that are not yet fried are very soft. So when the frozen fricandle got inside her, it warmed up and defrosted. Because not fried fricandle is soft, it broke off inside her. She had to go to hospital to get the piece of meat removed. During a school dance, the one girl with notoriously large breasts, like unreasonably so, was dancing to Cotton Eye Joe and her shirt finally gave up and her ginormous breasts popped out. I was one of the many guys that witnessed it. It was glorious. Female volleyball coach of men's volleyball. She let us have an end of season party at her place. One of the guys on the team spent the night there and banged her. A guy in our high school, and their accomplice from another high school, decided it would be a good idea to bring in a bunch of pot muffins and deliver them to the faculty and left them in the teacher's lounge as a gift. Since occasional pastries as gifts happened somewhat regularly, none of the teachers thought anything of it. The accomplice delivered the muffins, so he wasn't recognized by the staff, and they just took it anyways. And they made quite theft-potent batch. So, some of the staff eats it. All of the muffins get eaten. A few of the teachers T1, a gym coach A3 at once, and our 70-plus-year-old attendance secretary ate one as well. Needless to say, this did not go very well for her, and an ambulance was called to help her out and figure out why she was suddenly feeling so lightheaded, dizzy, and woozy. And 4 weeks afterward, our TV system. Our school had a good handful of TVs scattered about the cafeteria, student center, classrooms, and hallways to have certain announcements up and play the school news like it was an actual newscast. For a special multimedia class we had, would display messages with the gingerbread man Lord Farquaad scene from Shrek on it, asking do you know the Muffin Man all over the place. So of course everybody was wondering who did it. Turns out, the teen from the outside school was an old childhood friend I had, though I didn't recognize him from the security footage they took. Didn't know the one from my school, however. That's right, I knew the Muffin Man. English teacher got pregnant by my high school quarterback who was also the police chief's son for my town. My physics teacher was an odd duck, zany and eccentric like a lot of science teachers, but also overtly racist. Two occurrences I remember well. First, during a class project, he pointed at a Thai girl, Vietnamese guy, and Cambodian guy, and said alright, all these Chinese kids in one group. There was a shocked silence but nothing really came of it. Second one was while studying the concept of tension. He used a hanging example, and asked the only black kid in the whole class his weight, to be used as the example for us to measure the amount of tension that would be in the rope if he were to be hanged. The black kid was also the assistant principal's adopted son, which he must have known, and he got fired. Computer teacher opened whitehouse.com on the projector during a follow-along class. This was in the late 90s when that site was porn-based. Walked in when my teachers were having sex. Damn homeschooling. A girl was doing a cartwheel while in a skirt and her was in full view. We were reciting our own poetry for our 11th grade English class. Most of it was just floofy BS. However, a jock in class got up and began reciting his poem. It started off slow, but it became clearer and clearer that he was talking about how he would go back in time and deflower our English teacher. He kept glancing back and forth between the teacher and the paper in his hands, ignoring the class entirely. Every face in the room was bright red. The teacher was a deep red, and was crying with uncomfortable laughter. I will never forget the final line. Something like, "Until I flood your eager, quivering crevices with my genetic riches." The dude was not that bright, so I am pretty sure the only thing he spent the night with was a thesaurus. Best comment of the day. Here's one that is memorable in the sense that I get embarrassed and even a bit scared every time I think of it. I was part of the swim/dive team during high school, and a few times throughout the year the girls basketball team would commandeer one half of the guys' locker room. The halves were divided by lockable doors. I did not know this, and the side that had all the toilet stalls was the side that the girls were occupying. So I tried opening the doors from inside the locker room, and they didn't open. Well, that's weird, I thought, then went around to the unlocked door that was connected to the hallway leading to the gym. Surely enough, it was unlocked, and I had to shit bad, so I went without a second thought. The girls' team had no more than 2 or 3 bags lying on the floor and nothing else to suggest that they were occupying a locker room. There was no one in there at the time, so I strolled over to the stall and started taking a shit. No more than 5 minutes later a group of girls comes in and starts talking loudly. The stalls are around a corner and tucked into their own little nook, but still directly connected to the locker room where all the girls are. So basically there are no doors between me and the girls, only the stall wall and the wall that separated the bathroom and from the changing room. I would have pissed myself if I hadn't already peed. I'm basically naked from head to toe, and there's a large group of girls between me and getting back to swim practice. Greatest fears tipping closer and closer to reality. What if one of them needs to use the bathroom? I'm fucked. The whole school is going to think I'm a peeping pervert. Will my parents believe me if I tell them the truth? My heart is pounding, and then I hear a girl walking over towards the bathroom, pounding harder. How can no one hear my heart pounding right now? I swear to fuck, it's deafening, I thought. Then like the voice of an angel I hear "Time's up, let's go ladies" or something like that, and the panic finally starts to settle, but only a little. Then I waited for all of them to leave and ran to the edge of the locker room, and then stopped and started walking as I walked out into the hallway to try to avoid looking suspicious, and then back into my half of the locker room and breathed a sigh of relief like never before or since. The part that I still think back to today is that one girl at the end of the hallway saw me walk out of the locker room. Were there rumors spread? Did she even know who I was? What if everyone started to think differently of me, but never told me? I might never know, since I don't talk to anyone from my high school these days, but it still makes me uncomfortable to think about.